Hey, what's up guys? My name is Amar and I scaled my agency from 0 to 100k a month. Within 6.5 months, I documented my entire journey on Twitter. And in today's video, we're going to be having an interview with one of my students, Carrol, who scaled his agency from 0 to 30,000 a month. Currently living in Dubai, chilling, living life. So I think this is going to be a sick interview and it's definitely going to inspire a lot of you guys to do the same. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. Before we do that, hit the subscribe button because I'm going to be dropping more bangers like these, more case studies, more general agency growth videos, and yeah, let's get into it. So, Evan, how you doing, bro? How you doing?
Not too bad at all, man. Not too bad at all. How are you?
Good. I'm very good because finally we get to do this interview. It's been long due. I remember you hit the first 15k and I was like, yo, listen, let's shoot this interview. But for some reason, something happened. Then you hit the 20k and now you're 30k and we're here. So I'm glad we kind of waited.
Yeah, life gets in the way, man. Sure, when you're busy, even like, yeah, it's been like touch and go anyway, trying to get this in the calendar. But yeah, it'll be worth the wait anyway.
Yeah, so let's start with the beginning then. How and where were you before in terms of business, life, mental state before you joined our program?
Yeah, so I can actually just give you a bit of a background. So it was just over a year ago now, and I didn't have the first clue about entrepreneurship at all. So I actually have a master's in chemical engineering. So I was very much plugged into the system. So primary school, secondary school, college, grad job, working away like that. I was in that state and I was like, surely there has to be more to life. So had a look online. I believe I saw like an Iman Gaji video about O-ring. That kind of like, I saw he was saying like 200k a month. I was like, that is the biggest scam ever. Like that's no way that's possible. The only way you can get through it is working a job. So bought some course anyway. It was around this time last year, some SMMA course. Was going all right, maybe like 5k per month. And then I think it must have been around July time last year. I think I was like one of the OGs in the program, kind of getting used to it. And actually, funny enough, like I realized the opportunity that was there with TickTock, and I hopped on a call with you, and I actually hopped on a call with like 3 or 4 guys who were offering something similar. And just like, obviously, like if you're doing a coaching program, you don't want to just jump at the first thing, you know. But like I hopped on a call with a few other guys, and it was just a conviction that you showed, and like you were asking the right questions, and it was like clearly laid out as well. And from my perspective anyway, it was a no-brainer, even just from talking to comparing the others to what you have to offer. Jumped on anyway, and yeah, like the agents, like I was one of the OGs in it, as I said. It's kind of progressed as I've been in there, and now it's at the stage where, you know, I've learned so much in terms of agency. Like whoever's in there, like the coaches, yourself, Sophia, and all you like bring something else to the table. And even like the other people in the program as well, you'd be surprised what you can learn at other people as well that are not just the coaches. Like everyone is doing the same thing. They're in, like, you know, a lot of people like to say the trenches. They're figuring stuff out by themselves, and then you can share whatever you're learned with other people, and you just go from there. So
nice. I was about to ask you, why did you pick us, and you literally just answered it right there. But
I bet you do.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like, but at that time when you started your agency, before you jumped into our program, what kind of agency did you have?
If you had to guess, you'd probably get it on the head. It's the most stereotypical Facebook ads for ecom.
Okay, one of them ones.
Everyone had their mother had one of those, so that's what I was doing. Yeah, and like I was like, I didn't even know anything about the online space before that. Like, and it was like even the service delivery was outsourced. It was kind of white labeled. It was good to like dip my toes into the actual agency space as well, but it wasn't like a real agency. I was like, you know, as you progress, you need to break so many like limiting beliefs. And like the first one was just like, even, you know, I can run my own thing. I can actually make good money with it. It's just like progressing. And like as with anything, it's just essentially like to put in the time, but it's just like about relearning those values and just like getting through that actual stage. And like throughout all that time, I was like working a job as well. So I was getting up before the job, working actually in the job as well, working after the job. I tried to work from home as much as possible, like just to put as much time as I could in it. Even if it wasn't in the right areas at the time, I was just putting in the time, like, you know, learning the discipline. And then when I joined the program, obviously it just kind of opened up my mind in terms of like what were the right things to focus on, the highest levers, like the 80 out of the 80-20 in terms of what to focus on. And yeah, that's basically it.
Sick. What made you choose a TickTock offer?
In terms of TickTock, like I actually remember like seeing some video about TickTok, and just the way it was going, when you just like, it's a lot of things, you know yourself how important it is to not just like blindly say what other people, and just like critically think as well. And you're just sitting down there like what way it was going. TickTok was on the rise, as I said, you know, everyone and their mother had a Facebook ads agency. Content was becoming more and more important, and that's really why I decided on TickTok, because it, like, a lot of it is like, you know, product market fit, what the actual market needed. The market at that time didn't need more people offering Facebook ads at like whatever, doing no content, just pushing a few buttons in the ad account. Like TickTok and content was the whole way it was going. And like with anything, like, you know yourself, like you were very early in the TikTok and content game. The earlier you get on and hop on things and like are first to it, the higher the upside, because it's less and less saturated, and you become like a respected and an authority name in that niche.
100%. It's always important to understand exactly where the market is headed and adjust accordingly. Like even right now, it wouldn't be the smartest thing to start a TikTok agency because there's a lot of talks about banning TikTok and this and that. So, it's always important to see exactly how the market is feeling. So, yeah.
And even on that as well, like, let's say the skills you get from running an agency, let's just say specifically in my case for like a content agency, it's the skills you get from that are transferable. It doesn't really matter what niche. Like even at the moment, I'm hopping on sales calls with people like, oh, what if TikTok gets banned? What, like, if you just break it down, like, right, short form content is here to stay. Ad creatives are here to stay. They're only going to get more important. So it's not about like worrying or even getting like too married to the niche. It's the skills you learn along the way. So like building a team, doing outreach, taking sales calls, client checking calls, whatever it is, learning about the fundamentals of advertising, creatives. It's those skills that you keep just like, they almost like grow exponentially. And like, even if, let's say like TikTok gets banned tomorrow or something like that, it's like, it'll move over to Instagram Reels. Creatives are still there. You still know how to build an agency, lead gen, things like that.
Right, exactly. I mean, the skills definitely paid for a nice lifestyle, I guess, looking at the view behind you. How's life right now after everything compared to like back when you were doing your chemical engineering stuff and all of that? How's the difference?
Yeah. It's, to be honest, like every morning I go out and look at the balcony, and it's just obviously, to be an entrepreneur, you kind of need to be in like the self-help, very deep in it. But every morning I go out, look at the balcony, just say like how grateful I am. Like literally just over a year ago, I didn't even know this is possible. And now I'm like living the life that I have actually been thinking about, like kind of like visualizing and thinking of something like this for like over a year now, and then actually living it is pretty surreal. And even, we like talk on WhatsApp back and forth and whenever, and it's like little problems that you're having now, if you just take a step back and just realize like where you've came from and just show that gratitude. It's like small problems you have are so minute as well. So to be honest, it's fairly life-changing as well. Like after Dubai, we're planning on going traveling around the world. We're actually heading to Colombia at the end of this month. So just like being honest, the main reason why I started the whole agency, what really drove me was just to be able to travel. So like laptop, Wi-Fi connection, you can be anywhere in the world. And like to be actually living this life.
100%. I mean, the agency is really made for that, the cash flow lifestyle. And yeah, I'm very happy to hear that you definitely hit that. Like what level were you like, oh, listen, I've made it. Like I got to the point where I'm like, listen, like things are moving towards the right direction. When would you say? Revenue level wise or mindset wise? Can you recall that?
Mindset wise, it was probably the start this year. Cause like you're always like, you still have like, everyone has self-doubts. You still have them coming in. But when it kind of like started for me anyway, it was starting to get above that like 20K per month mark, starting to get like 10K per month profit. That's when like it really does start to compound. I know it is kind of cliche, but it is true. It's cliche for a reason because it is true. Yeah. And that's when you really do it. Like, in the agency account, the retainers are coming, you're getting good results for clients, your team is happy. And like, that was really like the moment as well. And like the further you go as well, you realize like once you surpass that point, you're never going to start building or stop building, you're never going to stop building. But it's not because that. It's like when you're working on the team, like I actually just hopped on a team call there earlier on today, and there was like 7 of us on it. And I was like, wow, like you just kind of have to catch yourself as well. Like just, you're like helping other people, you're building their lives as well from them working for you, you're getting clients results as well. And just like all that, like compounding, and it just kind of strikes you every now and again. You just have to appreciate. But like, just that go back to your question anyway, it was the start of this year, just kind of getting up to that, like the 20K per month mark was when it really kind of hit me, and just kind of like, this is like kind of life-changing stuff. Like
where you are right now with the agency, like obviously you're past the 10K, 20K level. How different are you when it comes to problem solving? Obviously beginners at the very beginning, they think of acquiring the next client and leads, and they don't think about operations and fulfillment. Like where are you right now? Like what's your biggest bottleneck? And compared to how you used to think about acquisition, like how has that changed your views on the acquisition problems and all of that?
Yeah, I suppose, to answer the acquisition part first, like in an agency, like acquisition is everything, because you can have the best back end in the world if you've nothing coming in, and like having a full pipeline as well. It just has you, it's just that peace of mind. Like you're on sales calls, it's coming from that abundance place where if you like, is this your first sales call, and like in the whole month you've only one sales call, you're going to be getting, no matter who you are, you're going to be getting enough nervous, you need to close this. Where if you've like 10 sales calls in a week, the pipeline is full, the whole thing is, it makes it so much easier. So it's just realizing that. And then like, as you were saying, once you do go on, like hiring is so key. It's so key. And like, as the agency grows, like in an agency, in a service-based business, the biggest bottleneck is just manpower, just finding A players that'll actually like work in the team and get good results. So that definitely is one of the bottlenecks, not a bottleneck, but it's just something that a skill that I've definitely improved in terms of like hiring. Like obviously, you guys help with that. Yeah, basically like show us everything that you've done, like the A to Z of it, which has really helped that out as well. And then that kind of touches the operations side. And then in terms of the mindset side, like as I said previously on, like the mindset side doesn't, if you stop developing the mindset side, you're kind of like, you're going nowhere. You're either like flatlining or declining. Because one way I like to describe it is you're like, how your business develops, how you personally develop needs to like stay in time in like the same blind as that. Because if your business keeps going up and you don't personally develop, the business is going to come crashing down. Because like, let's say if you run a 100K per month business, you have to be like the person worthy and able to actually run that 100K per month business. So like in terms of like mentality, I'm always working on it, trying to improve that. And like, as you said, like you were asking about problems, something I always try to do is like when a problem comes up, it's not just like, oh shit, this whatever, like this client said they're about to leave, or like whatever, these assets were sent down wrong. It's like turn it like the problem straight into the opportunity. So what I mean by that is like if a problem comes in, automatically like list out like 3 things that you can do to solve that. So it's just straight away like problem opportunity. Now it's like not easy, like it's very much easy to say it. Putting into practice is a different thing, but that's one thing I've definitely like trained myself to try to do more. So if anything goes wrong, just like what are the 3 things I can do that can help alleviate this or like solve it straight away.
How big is the team right now?
So yeah, at the moment there's 7 of us. So it's, as I said earlier, hopping on the call earlier today and seeing that many people on a Zoom call, it's kind of surreal. It's like, you know, you're working together as a team. Obviously, you know, like you're helping pay for their lifestyle, whatever families they have. So it's a team of 7 at the moment. And it takes a lot of time it takes like you getting a hire wrong to know what kind of person you are looking for. But like in terms of like even joining the program, like, you know, you gave us everything that like we need to know. You even like, you know, set us up with a few hires as well that you've hired and that you've interviewed, just like haven't gone ahead with like a really good candidates, and like having that experience of like you guys giving that feedback to us definitely helped me avoid making mistakes when hiring people. Because when you hire someone that's not the right fit, it's not that like the money doesn't matter, it's just the time that's involved, the time that like you need to find a good person, whittle down whoever applies, train them up on the systems. And if you're constantly going through all that, you don't have the sufficient amount of time in the day. There's just simply not enough hours in the day to focus on getting client results, to focus on like the team members you do have, to focus on acquisition. So like that is definitely a massive thing in terms of like just learning that, and like the guidance that you guys gave on like what kind of people to look out for in terms of hiring, and just like to help expedite that whole process, and then just avoid the mistakes that you guys make as well. So just to help my end out.
Definitely. So you've got 7 people right now at your company. How's your routine changed like when it comes to operating in the company? Let's say taking sales calls or doing this work, that work. Like walk me through your routine. Like what are your responsibilities right now compared to how it used to be 6 months ago?
Yeah. So it's kind of, 6 months ago, you're kind of a jack of all trades. You know, you're so far in service delivery. You're on clients, you're at like waiting for anything they ask you, you're on it straight away. As now, obviously when you go on, you need to focus on the more higher leverage tasks. So I was doing all the outreach, you know, managing all the emails, things like that. And now I have an outreach manager that handles that. In terms of the actual service delivery, it was just like me, an editor, and that was basically it. I was like texting all the creators at the start, you know, because in a business, you need to have some bit of pulse. You know, it is so cliche, but you need to have some bit of pulse on all the elements. Like it's not like it's a bad thing. It is kind of necessary, because if you're hiring people, how can you really tell if someone is good or not at that thing? All you have is like them speaking it. So you do need to have a pulse in it. But even that, like now we have 2 hires, just hired another editor recently to keep up with like the capacity that we need to actually pump out the content. And then what I really like as well is that people that started out with me, they're winning as the agency is growing as well. So they're going into whoever was like the OGs at the start, like the A players of the agency, they're starting to progress as well. So, you know, certain people in the agency are moving more into like a management role, and like they're winning as the agency is winning as well. So that's something I've really enjoyed seeing. And, you know, like it's not just about like, oh, what can I get out of this? What can I get out of clients? It is about like, you know, at the end of the day, we're going to be in business for the next 30, 50 years. What does it come down to? It comes down to like LTV, product, and then just like your reputation / your brand. Like that's just what it comes down to. Like if you're going to win long term, it's about those things as well. It's not just like any snatch and grabs or anything like that. It is just, and like building that kind of thing long term with people you do get on with, and like whose people your lives are like almost changing in a way, or like you are providing is a very nice feeling.
Amazing. What's the next steps for you with the agency?
Next steps. So yeah, next steps. We've grown relatively quickly anyway. So for this agency, I've had it like 9 months, and we've grown it very quickly. Now you'd always want to like grow. There is like a fine line there between that. But like a good way I look at it is just, you don't know how to fix something unless it's actually come. And if you like grow as quickly as possible, and then if problems come up, it's like the Parkinson's law. You know, if something needs to get solved in 2 days, you're going to solve it. So if you're just like preemptively solving problems and, you know, getting everyone's systems back end, like, you know, like everyone says, like getting the logo, when you don't have actually any clients, it's worth nothing. You might think like, oh, that's actually the right thing to do, or those systems don't work. So that's the way I look look at it is like, you need to keep growing. And it's kind of like, I listen a lot to Andy Frisella, and he talks about aggressive patience. So it's about having that long-term perspective, that the essential ingredient is time, like time and hard work, but it's about showing aggression, like attacking every single day, but not expecting results like tomorrow or next month or next week or something like that. It's like having that perspective in mind that it is going to take time, but you will see progression if you just attack it every day, put in the hard work. And we were actually like talking about this the other day. It's like really what separates me, let's say like me of like 2 years ago, or like someone else who's just working a grad job. All that separates it is like a year of hard work, changing your mentality and your life. The trajectory of your life can be changed forever. It's like, obviously there's going to be hard work after that, but that is, there's like an inflection point where you could just keep going down your normal path. If you just put in that hard work for that year, constant personal development, gaining skills, putting yourself out there, networking, how important networking is as well. And like, I'm out here with a group of guys as well. Like probably one of the best things that like has happened to me in terms of the agency game. Like, a lot of people know each other from Twitter as well. And how I actually met these guys is as you can see from the long hair, I'm a bit of a hippie, like doing a bit of surfing. So we actually went surfing over in Lisbon in Portugal. I didn't know these guys at all. And I just said, look, what's the worst that can happen? I'll go over, I'll meet these guys. And like, now we're probably like as close as could possibly be, or we're going to be with each other for the next however many years. And it's just kind of, in terms of that, the networking is just like putting yourself out there. But about like going back to that aggressive patience, it's just being aggressive, kind of like, it kind of does tie together in terms of like just putting yourself out there. But it's just being aggressive, attacking every single day, really, really going after it, but also not having the expectations. And like, if something doesn't go, like if you're not at 10K per month in whatever 2 months, like a lot of people say that, like, don't be thinking like negative thoughts in your head. Like everyone's like journey is different, but in my mind, what would really like separate a lot of people from like where they are to where they want to be is just a year of like hard work and getting your mentality right. And like that could change the trajectory of the rest of your life.
It's crazy to see your growth. I remember our first conversation, like you were a bit uncertain and unsure and a bit not really shy, but you just didn't know what to expect. And just hearing you talk like with full conviction and full of experience and all of that, and like everything that you've experienced over the last few months is just insane. So yeah, man, I'm very proud of what you've achieved, and yeah, definitely like more to come. I can't wait to see you grow to the next level. Cool. Now, Evan, who would you recommend this program to?
Really, someone that was in the exact same position as I was. So I was aware of the online space. I was aware that like I wanted more out of life. And with coaching, it's like you can do it yourself. It might take you like 3 or 5 times longer. But is someone in that position who maybe has tried something, has seen some success, and like maybe really like has that self-belief and wants more out of life, and just looking for something comprehensive that will just expedite the whole process. So from like the A to Z of how to actually run a service-based business, an agency, and just like get you from whatever it is you're starting out, is it like 0K per month, whatever, like 2K per month. You have some bit of like knowledge and like where you want to go, but you just want like a comprehensive formula to, okay, this is how you do it. This is what to do. This is how you do it. And this is where you can take it from someone who has done it and like been there before.
Amazing. Okay, cool. Evan, appreciate you hopping on this call and doing the interview. Excited to see you grow, excited to see you succeed, and share the next wins, and maybe even hop on another call and have another interview maybe in 6 months' time and see how your mindset, your finances, where you're right now, like things and all of that change. So yeah, if there's one advice you could give to people right now, what would you give them?
It would be what I was saying. It's that aggressive patience. It's putting in the hard work without any expectations. And like kind of linked to that, it's like, let's say you want to run an agency, you want to make 10K per month profit. That's an outcome. So if you keep going in with that mind, you're like, oh, I'm not at 10K per month. Oh, I'm not. It's just, it won't work. It's about like focusing on the inputs. So what are the things that will get you to 10K per month? It's about doing the outreach. It's about maybe hiring a team. It's about whatever it is, doing up your website. It's not focusing on what the output of the actions is. So whatever it is, like if you're building a YouTube channel and you want to get to 1 million subscribers, if you just have like that million, like that's all you think about, you're not going to do anywhere. Because like, let's say it goes at the end of the day and you don't have 1 million subscribers yet. It's like, oh, this is such a waste of time. Where if you just say, okay, every day for a year, I'm going to post a video. That is just the input, and then I'll get there eventually. So it is just about like that kind of aggressive patience linked with exactly that, what I was saying.
Aggressive patience. You heard it, guys. Evan, where can people find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter, Evan Carrol. I think I have a link tree there. The rest of it is linked. So if you want to look at my Instagram anyway, you can see a few photos from Colombia when we eventually do arrive there.
Amazing. Evan, appreciate you hopping on this call, and yeah, stay blessed, man.
Perfect, man. Appreciate it.
So I hope you enjoyed this interview with Evan. It was a very interesting interview. We spoke about a lot of different things, and One thing that he mentioned, which is very, very true, stay aggressive in the short term and patient in the long term. That's something that a lot of beginners struggle with. So I'm glad that we touched on that. With that being said, if you want to join our program, click the link down below to sign up for the waiting list so you'll be notified when we open new slots in 2 to 3 weeks time. And yeah, with that being said, subscribe to the channel for more agency growth content as well as interviews on a weekly basis. If you have any questions, just drop them down below or you can message me on Twitter and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. With that being said, see you on the next video.